Kravets. If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
Good morning and welcome to episode 386 of Picks and Ponies right here on the HHH Racing Podcast, live, as you can see behind me, from beautiful Gulfstream Park in Hallandale Beach, Florida. I am on the third floor at Gulfstream Park here to preview the huge stakes day at Gulfstream. There's two stakes, a lot of really good races. I'm happy to be here live in person to bring it to you and talk about all these races. You can listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. Please subscribe to our Power Picks tip sheet. Look below the video player for all the information about our Power Picks tip sheet. It's very inexpensive, very profitable as well. Highly recommend you look into that. Of course, we have a great website as well, hhhracingpodcast.com. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button on the bottom right-hand side of the screen on YouTube. After you do that, please hit the notification bell in the top right-hand corner and then smash that like button below the video player. We would greatly appreciate that. Before I get into the card and talk about some of the races, let's see who is here today. We have Katie is here. She's still under the weather. Sorry about that, Katie. Hope you feel better. And by the way, there is a little background music up here, but I don't think it's going to be too loud, so it shouldn't be a problem. Hopefully you can hear me just okay. We got Jeffrey Wilson is here. What's up, Jeff? Good morning. Chris Couples, who does a fantastic job within the Money Media. I highly recommend you check him out. Chris, I read your preview. I got some things to that I agree with for the most part. Chris does a great job covering the early pick five for In the Money. Appreciate the view. That scoreboard right behind me there on my left side should be turning on pretty soon, I would think, although we are still about an hour and 40 minutes away from post time. Who's here? Benny Betts is here. Good morning. Looks beautiful. It is. It's actually it's a little cloudy and it's very windy and there's a chance of rain. I'll talk about the weather today. And if Pete and Paul are listening, I don't have to speculate about the weather. I'm freaking here, so I can tell you what it looks like. Who else is here? Gary Slayton. Good morning. Chris said you might be on the EE show today. Yes, there's a very good chance I'll be on the Equine Edge show live from the paddock for the stake races. Check that out. We're working out a few things that's very possible. Nathan Woodward is here. Good morning, everyone. How you doing, Nathan? All right, now a few things. Oh, Sylvain is here. What's up, Sylvain? I'm assuming from Canada. How you doing, Sylvain? A few things I want to mention to everyone. Again, first of all, I don't have my headphones on. Hopefully the sound is okay. I'm in a big restaurant area that's extremely quiet because no one's here right now, but there's a little background noise, so I apologize for that. I'm on my laptop. I do not have two monitors, so you got to give me a little more time to make sure all the tech is correct. It might not go quite as smoothly in terms of what I have to buttons I have to click and whatnot, but I'm sure everything will be fine. I tested a few things out. Haven't done a show like this since Saratoga, actually, where I'm not at home. I'm on remote and I don't have a second monitor, so bear with me. Now, scratches. The scratches just came in recently. I'm looking on my phone. The picks that I'm going to put on the screen might include some scratches. I will adjust as I go along. Not only that, I'm going to talk about every race today. Now, obviously, since we don't want this to be a 2-hour podcast, I'll be going through the races much more quickly. I believe there's, 11 today? There's 11 races today, so I'll be going through them a little more quickly than normal. But I'd love to hear your comments and opinions in the live chat. Last thing before I get to race one. The Ben and Boozen boys, more specifically Kyle Roscoe and Charlie Freeman, did a great job previewing the late pick five here today at Gulfstream on the Thursday show. So check out Ben and Boozen, our last show. You can compare their late pick five analysis with mine. But of course, I'm also talking about the early pick five here as well. All right. I believe that takes care of everything that we need to. Again, be a little more patient with me as I grab a bunch of things that I need for the banners. But here we go. We're going to start in race one. And I'm going to bring up, there's, first of all, the banner. My picks will be on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, as you can see. And I should also be able to bring up pretty easily the PPs and the field. So let's see if we can Let's see if we can do that here. Hold on one second. Okay, I believe we're about to start. Let's see. This should be correct. Let me make sure that is correct. I believe that is. Yep. We're off to a good start. Woo. Okay, here we go. First race. Let me go full screen here so you can see a little better. First race is a very interesting race. It's for fillies and mares, 3-year-old and up. They're going on the turf. It is never won 20,000, other than etc. Non-winners of 2, optional claiming price. Here's the field right there. It's a field of 12. Again, I believe this is up to date. Let me refresh this because they should have scratches in Equibase right now. I don't believe there's any scratches. No. Doesn't look like there's any scratches right now. The Moyline favorite is a very, very interesting horse. Number 7, Tutta La Vita. This is an Australian bred. Actually, one of 2 Australian horses in the race. The other one is number 4 by any of their name for Mott and Alvarado. The 7 is the favorite. It's Nacho Creas and Irad. So very interesting horse. Now, let me go and bring up the PPs on the screen. And like I said, it's going to be a little bit, that should work. There's the PPs right there, correct? Okay, we're working well. Let me go full screen here. This is a very interesting race. Let's talk about the 7 first of all. Now, Irad, of course, we know is on a complete roll. He is ridiculous. His rides are amazing. No, he's not getting the best horse every time. This horse has not raced since May. Resolute Racing bought this horse, John Stewart and Company. This is a 4-year-old filly who is in Group 1 company. Group 1 company in Australia. Now, Australia is very good racing. And this horse has got time form ratings. You can see 108, 111, 104. If you subtract 20, which is the standard, I'd say more like 15. She's running, high 80s, low 90s. If she runs that, she wins this for fun. She's been working steadily, as you can see at the bottom, not spectacularly so, but steadily. B- workouts. She's 7-2 is the odds now. It just popped up. Of course, there's very little money right now in the pool. She's 7-2 morning line. Here's my feeling on Tutta La Vita. She's going to take money because it's Irad, first of all. If she is, I would say, bigger than 3-1, she is completely cold and dead on the board. If she's less than 5-2, 3-1, she's extremely live. And I'm not just going to go off of the board, but I think the board is going to tell here quite a bit. She's the class of the field. She's ran some good races. She's tactical in her races. I watch her replays. You don't want to be too far back, I don't believe. I think she has a big shot. Now, let me go back to full screen for just a second here. Let me talk about the weather situation. Now, yesterday, it was very windy. Today, it's very windy. I don't know if you can see. It's a little bit hard to tell. The American flag is right there. It's a little bit hard to tell. But anyway, it's quite windy today. Not only that, there's wind, tailwind down the backstretch, headwind into the stretch. It's also blowing a little bit from the east, which means it's blowing off the ocean. What does all that mean? Generally speaking, this track is speed favoring anyway. It was quite speed favoring yesterday. I expect the same today. I think it's going to be inside bias. I think it's going to be speed favoring, especially going 1 turn. Now, 2 turns, not quite as speed favoring, but it's just hard to make up ground right now in the stretch with that pretty strong southeast wind against them. I talked to Dale Romans this morning, by the way, name drop. Boop. Dale Romans, I was here for workouts this morning. He said they put a little clay on the track to try to slow it up a little bit because it's been a little bit fast. And he thinks once it rains, which it might today, by the way, that could have the track go faster times and maybe play a little more less speed favoring. We're going to see. I think it's going to be, like I said, somewhat speed favoring inside bias. We'll see. I don't know if Chris Couples, I know, is in the chat, if he has any opinion on that, because Chris covers Gulfstream Park like a glove. Now, there is a chance of rain today between 12 and 2. It doesn't look like it's going to be like major thunderstorm, South Florida kind of craziness, more of a steady rain. If it happens, the turf races in the back part of the card, we'll see. Of course, the dirt would play differently then. It's South Florida, man, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just have to check the weather and see what happens. Anyway, let's go back to the races. I also like the 1 a little bit. Let me go ahead and switch my screen because you don't see. There we go. Okay. I also like the 1 a little bit as well. The number 1 is Lady Cha Cha, 10-1 morning, 6-1 morning line. Was trained by Cazares. Now Safi takes over with Zayas. Great combination. The horses run figs that are good enough. Zayas has to get this filly closer. This horse cannot close from 8-9 back in this race and win, I don't think. Lady Cha-Cha, I think, will use a little more early against Safi. Very interesting in this race if the 7 doesn't fire. The other Australia bet I'm interested in, and this Australia bet might be a price, the number 4, by any other name, ran perfectly fine in New York, 2 back. Last time was awful. Puts blinkers on, has got bullet works. And let me say this, the number 4 by any other name is working very well, according to the clockers. The horse was going a mile before in Australia in handicap, so not nearly the class level of the 7, who should be favored. But the 4 looks like it's improving. Team Valor, toss out the last, blinkers on. I think you're going to see this horse forward. I wouldn't sleep on by any other name. There's a lot of ways you can go in this race, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of ways. I'm using, oh boy, how many? A lot. I've got 4. I've got like 7 horses in my early pick 5 spread out. Again, I do think the number 7 should be the favorite and should take a lot of money. And if Tuda La Vida runs her best race or even her B- race, I think she's got a big shot to win. As we can see right now, it looks like I always make that mistake. Over my left shoulder there it is. It looks like the infield board is on and working. So you know that we are definitely here at Gulfstream Park. All right, let's go on to race 2. Race 2, again, let me go ahead and switch it over. As I said, a little more switching to do today with my one monitor here. Let's go to race 2. Race 2, there we go. Maiden Claiming 12-5. This is not exactly the most talented horses on the grounds. Field of 8. Pretty heavy morning line favorite in the number 8. Number 7. Bam Bam. 8-5 morning line. Number 1 Star Performance is 2-1. Let me go ahead and take off my screen. There's my picks. I'm going 7-6-1 in race 2. 7-6-1 in race 2. I think we need to do that. There we go. Now you can see everything. Like I said, just be a little more patient, folks, because I'm working with only one monitor today. Again, I'm going 7-6-1 in race 2. I think Bam Bam's going to be very tough here. You definitely want to be forward. They're going 5.5 on the Tapeta. So again, you definitely want to be forward in this race. Let me go ahead and switch to the PPs so we can see the number 7 as I go to race 2. There we go. Race 2. Here we go. Bam Bam. This is not a horse you can trust at all. But it's maker, it's Gaffleone. Should show some speed. Has not broken, of course, her maiden yet, but is on the verge of doing it. I see an outside stocky kind of trip. The number 6, Rialta. This is a horse that's going turf to Sin, which is not a concern. Puts blinkers on. She's got to be a lot closer. I'm hoping the blinkers at Jaramillo will get the number 6 a little bit closer for Rialta. I don't think Rialta is completely out of it. And then the number 1 is the speed of the speed, if I recall. Yeah, Star Performance. There's 2 problems with Star Performance. One is she just doesn't get the distance. And number 2, the rail can be tricky. I know Egan's going to gun there from that spot. I suppose the number 1 Star Performance has a shot. This horse just can never get home and sustain the bid. So I guess if she gets loose and the track is speed favoring like it might be, we'll see. I will say that Tapeta was not necessarily speed favoring. The main track dirt was definitely more speed favoring. Even the turf was a bit speed favoring as well. In the background, you might hear Pete Aiello because he's just coming on now to give. Actually, they're showing the replay of yesterday's races right now, so that would be the noise you hear. But anyway, I'm going to go with the number 7 in race 2. I'm going 7-6-1. All right, let's go on to race 3. And I'm going to do that. And race 3, there we go. And I'll go ahead and switch the banners as well. Again, thanks to you, everyone, for watching. This is Howard Kravets. We are live, as you can see behind me here, at Gulfstream Park on a beautiful Saturday afternoon with 2 stake races as we're previewing the whole card. Race 3, I'm going 10-5-8. Let's go ahead and show the field right there. These are 10 claimers, 5 furlongs only on the Tapeta. It is a nice big field of 10. The favorite morning line is the Saffie Joseph IRAD combo, now showing 2-1 morning line. I am chalking out here. I'm going 10-5-8, as you can see on the bottom of the screen. I just think now showing could be very tough in this spot. I'll go ahead and switch over to there. You want a horse that's going to show speed for sure. Now showing from the outside can do exactly that. IRAD can just, this horse is 3 for 18. IRAD can break, look to his left, make some decisions. I think if now showing runs her race, she could be tough. I'm also using the number 5 here. The number 5 is White Knuckle Flyer, who does have some Tapeta form, claimed now by Cazares with Zayas. I don't think the 5 is completely out of the question here at all. Very interesting horse to me. And the other horse I'm going to talk about briefly is number 8, Amor E Control. 4-1 morning line, very fast. This is the speed of the speed. My concern here is the distance and the fact that IRAD, in theory, will be breathing on this 8 from the start. But the number 8, Amor E Control, certainly has a shot to win this race as well. So I'm going to go, as you can see on the screen, there are 10-5-8 in race 3. I believe there was a scratch. No, the number 9 is just a jockey change. Looks like to Junior Alvarado. That's a pretty big jockey switch there on the 9, who I didn't love, no pun intended, but love and makes sense now against Junior Alvarado, which is a nice jockey switch for that 5-year-old mare. By the way, yesterday, if you watched Gulfstream yesterday, Pete and Paul, my wonderful co-hosts, give me some crap sometime about the old zero buyer angle that I like to play sometimes. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. I don't have statistical data as a math teacher. I should. I got to tell you, it's a thing. Yesterday here at Gulfstream in a very low-level race, granted, I think it was maiden 12-5, there was like a 6-horse field if you played Gulfstream yesterday, and a horse who was 0 for 30. That's right, 0 for 30, and get this, and coming off a zero buyer, won at 10-1. I mean, the 0 for 30, 0 for 20 I don't like, 0 for 10 I don't like. Coming off the zero buyer, though, broke the maiden 0 for 30 horse, won yesterday here at Gulfstream. A lot of stuff can happen. You never know in these lower class races. Let's go ahead and take a look at very quick at some comments. Chris Couples in the chat. He thought about stealing the 1. I'm not sure which race that is. Sorry. That might be that race 3 that we just talked about. Let's see here. Just looking. Oh, it said more from Chris. Likely so dry there would be take a decent amount to affect things on the grass. I agree. But they're very careful right now, Chris, with HISA and everything. So I would think they would. Plus, they're going to make sure they're saving the turf course a bit for Pegasus in a month. So we'll see. Hard to say. Robin also steel lure, lower price in the early markets. He's commenting on that. And let's see if there's any other comments. Oh, let's see here. Joseph Liaison's here. Good morning, Howard. Always watching, never chatting. Joseph, what's up? Thanks for joining the show. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Horsey Dave. Horsey Dave, speed has dominated in short races the last 2 weeks. Different for routes, especially turf routes. I agree. You definitely want to be forward. If you're not within 3 or 4 lengths of the lead on the main track, really, whether it's 2 turns or 1 turn, you're in trouble. And again, you can see the flag a little better now there, the American flag. You can see it is definitely a stronger tailwind down the backstretch and into the stretch. Of course, we're looking at the front side here. So, and in the background, they're showing replays on the big screen from yesterday. All right, let's go on to race 4, ladies and gentlemen. Race 4, I'm going 7-1-5 in race 4. Let me go ahead and bring up the field right now as I'm just getting used to. There we go. This is 8 claimers. Again, the early part of the card is not fantastic. Not going to BS everyone out there. The late pick 5 I thought is really good. But race 4, there is a scratch of the number 7, Star of the Beast. The Moreline favorite is the number 2, Amazing Woo, 7-5. D'Angelo and Irad Ortiz. I was going 715, which sort of stinks because now the number 7 Star of the Beast is scratched. So I'll be going a different route. I'll be going 1-5. I'll say 152 for right now. In fact, let me go ahead and see if I can switch that on the screen as we're speaking. And some people might say, Howard, wait a minute. The 2 is a big morning line favorite, and it's Irad. You don't like this horse? Not really. I really don't. I mean, he's much more likely to win races that are higher class, not because it doesn't try as hard, just the higher class horses are more consistent. I don't love the 2 in here at all. I really don't. I'm going to try to beat Irad in this race. So I'm going to go with the number 1, Gucci Boy, which I think, can't see on the screen. Hold on, there we go. I'm going to go with the number 1, Gucci Boy. Let me go ahead and bring up the PPs. We'll talk about these horses in just a second here. There we go. Needs to switch to race 4. Like I said, a little trickier when I don't have a second monitor. Number 1, Gucci Boy is 9-2. Gets Raylu. I got no problem with Raylu. Again, this is 6,000 on the dirt. This horse's dirt races are plenty good enough to win. Not only that, look at the class level this one was running at on the dirt. Main special weight, main 50, allowance, claiming 22.5 to 22 condition, 35 claimers. I mean, obviously this horse is not in the best form, but it has a ton of back class, and this is not a very strong field. If the one can run anywhere close to what he's done before, he's got a shot. It's not my favorite. He's 1 for 19. He's inconsistent. He's already a 4-year-old. I get all that, but I mean, take a look at the 2. Amazing Woo, who apparently is going to be the favorite here. I get it. It's a D'Angelo claim. D'Angelo is very good off the claim, and it's Irad. Amazing Woo is probably going to win, but I do not want to take a horse like this. This is just not the kind of horse that I want to take or trust at all, but obviously Amazing Woo can win. I know Chris Couples and myself is interested in number 5, Austonian here. Austonian, in theory, will show speed. Second off the layoff for David Fox. The more I think about it, the more I like the 5, maybe even more than the 1. I could even go 5-2-1 here or some kind of combination. I'm going to use those 3 mainly. This horse is 1 for 11. A lot of these horses are 1 for, but look at the pace. That was, I know it's Gulfstream, but I'm sorry. I thought I saw 44. It's 23.44. Okay. Not quite as fast as I thought. So, I think this horse has got a shot. It's just not a very strong field here at all. So I'm using mainly 1, 5, and 2 in race 4. Okay, I believe that takes care of everything I wanted to take care of there. We got a lot of people commenting in the chat. So please make sure you show those comments. I appreciate it. Like from a new person, how about Scary Creations? What's up, Scary? Thanks for joining the show. He said that 0 for 30 horse Thrill for Victory or something like that. Yep. Was the only horse that broke from off from the pony and warmed up. I played him in a pick and pray contest for that reason. Wow. Scary. That's a scary good pick. Nice job, Scary. Congratulations on getting Thrilled for Victory home. It was not the best field, but the favorite just didn't run at all in that race yesterday. But great job, Scary. Good for you. Okay, let's go on to race 5 right now as I bring that up on the screen. Race 5. Here we go. Race 5 ends the early pick 5. Now we get into some pretty good horses here. Main special weight per $65,000. They're going on the right now fast main track. I'm assuming, what time does this go off at? 2:19. We'll see. It might not be fast at this point. Again, depends. It's not going to be like crazy thunderstorms today. I'm just looking outside again. It looks, it doesn't look too bad right now, but there's a little bit of rain supposedly moving in. I don't know. It's South Florida. We shall see. Let me go ahead and bring up the banners here for race 5. There we go. Race 5. I have a very strong opinion here. And Chris Couples, I know you're listening and watching. I agree with you 100%. I'm going 3-11-7. 3-11-7 in race 5. And there's a horse here that I think people got to pay attention to because I think this horse is going to take a lot of money. And I think it's for good reason personally. Let me go ahead and create that as the picture you guys want to see. And I'll also go full screen so you can see it better. Okay, let's talk about the number 3. This is the horse that I want. Jimmy's Dailies. This is a horse trained by Lynch, ridden by Irad, although Irad's really not the main reason why I want this horse. This is a Vacoma colt out of a First Dude mare. You have to go back and watch his replay. He was one of those early 2-year-olds who ran in June at Churchill Downs, and it was a complete disaster of a trip. Broke slow, checked, steadied, blah, blah, blah. Came on running like an absolute train to finish a good third, was the favorite that day, has been working great. If this horse breaks, I think number 3, Jimmy's Dailies, is going to be very tough to beat. Again, I can't show the replays. You'll just have to trust me. But I think number 3, Jimmy's Dailies, 5-2 would be a complete gift on this race. I'm going to go on this horse, excuse me. Multiverse is my second choice. Drayden, who, by the way, if you look, had a fantastic meet here over the summer, but now that the jockey colony has changed, you guys can see that at the top there. He's only 1 for 40. He still can win a race, obviously. This is just a much tougher meet. What I like about Multiverse for Riley Mott is this horse has shown speed. And again, you want to show speed on this track. Takes the blinkers off. I don't mind that. I don't think this horse is going to be slower out of the gate. Costs $575,000. This horse is very well meant. Has raced against some very good maiden fields. Monet's Magic there was 15-1, I believe. Was a little bit of a price. The horse that he lost to. But anyway, Multiverse should show speed. I like the outside post going 7 furlongs. I think this horse is not without a shot if the 3 doesn't fire. Now let's talk about some first-time starters because they're going to take money, but we need to discuss. So number 4, Abundance, a more than ready colt out of a quality road mare for Pletcher, Windstar Farm, Tyler G. Everything that you see there says all systems are go. Right? You see on the screen everything I just said. The problem is he's not working that fast. I was not impressed with his works. I think he's going to need one. We'll see. You never know. Some of these firsts can fool you. I will be in the paddock, of course, and I'll take some pictures. You're not going to be able to see them before the race. Let the board tell. I'm against Abundance. I just think he's going to need one here on his works to not blow me away. The other horse that we need to talk about is number 7. Tappan Street. Tappan Street, look at the price tag. That's not a misprint, everyone. Look at that price tag. $1 million. Source cost $1 million. It's an intermission about a restored human mare. Brad Cox debuted a horse. Let me put myself back on screen a little bit. Brad Cox debuted a horse. Was it last weekend? I believe the one horse. I can't remember the name. I'm sure Chris Couples will remember the name. Who also was a very expensive horse and did not run great. Brad Cox has a string down here. This horse has also not been working anything special, especially not for $1 million baby. I have a feeling this horse wants to go a bit longer. If you look at the pedigree on the dam side, Virginia Key was a very nice horse, the mom, but she was doing that 1.1 miles and a mile. Again, there's really no, this is a new, she had, I think that's her only full. No, she had Distorted Dioro, who is a 2-turn turf horse. So I think number 7 is going to be a nice horse eventually. Tappan Street. I don't think today is the day, though. And again, this is Windstar as well. And in her works, she was like beating up on like maiden claimers, I think. So I don't know. I'm going to go with the horses with experience. I really like the 3 in this spot. The 11, I think, is also interesting. I threw the 7 in for third out of respect to the connections, but you know, I don't know. I'm a bit dubious of the first-time starters in race 5. All right, that will take care of the first 5 races. This is what we're going to do. Let me take this off the screen here and switch to that. Again, I got a lot of banners to press here. Let's do this. We're going to take a very short break here, about 30 seconds. Let me catch my breath since I'm on my own today. And then we will talk about the back half of the card. We are live, HHH Racing Podcast, episode 386, live from Gulfstream Park. A preview of today's races. We will be right back, everyone. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Gulfstream Park. I'm your host, Howard Kravets. Let's go on to race 6. Race 6 is going to be on the turf. I'm going 10-9-8 in race 6. Again, we'll try to get scratches up also as they occur here. There's race 6, 10-9-8. Let me take a look real quick at the scratches. I think we're going to be clear. No, excuse me, number 4, understudy Kitty. The number 4, understudy Kitty. There we go. Is out 15-1 morning line. I'm going to go, and look, everyone knows I'm not always about favorites. In fact, I'm usually not about the favorites unless they really, really fit. I think the number 10, Unit Economics for Chad and Tyler G at 5-2 could be tough in this spot. But again, and we've talked about this before many, many times. Let me go ahead and bring up, you guys couldn't see the, hold on 1 second. My bad. There we go. I'm going 10-9-8. Let me go ahead and take the banner off the screen. There you go. I'm going 10-9-8. Chad is just not great at Gulfstream. It's an absolute fact. It's not even debatable. But in the higher level races, higher level allowance and stake races, I think it could be a different. Not could be. It is a different story for him. Let's take a look at the field here, race 6. As I switch over. Okay, Unit Economics. New York horse, been running low 90s. He's been getting nice trips, a little bit on the outside. That could be a problem for Unit Economics. Kravets, he's just very logical. He's going to have to work out a trip. Tyler's going to have to work out a trip from there, and it's not easy to do from the 10 hole. But I think, if he can work out a trip, I think he's going to be pretty tough in this spot. I do like degree of risk right to his inside for Nolan Ramsey. He's a little bit slower, but not a lot. This is Saez. I think this horse will be aggressive from the outside. I know only 2 for 20, maybe more underneath. I don't think degree of risk is completely impossible. The buyers are not as good as Unit Economics, but the time form figs are. And then the other horse I want to mention in race 6 would be the number 8. The number 8 is Calicanthus. This is one of 2 Pletchers. IRAD has been off since March, but is working decent for the comeback. Has every right to move up. Was in the Magdarmia grade 2 going mile 3/8 in March. Has not been it's not ran now for a while. So there could be some negatives here, but the upside is definitely here. Might need one. We'll see. The number 8, Calicanthus, does pick up IRAD. So there's got to be some intention there. I don't think that horse is completely impossible, but I think it's mainly about 10-9. There are a lot of different ways you could go, though. The number 2, I don't think is very logical. Capture the Flag. This is the other Todd Pletcher for Johnny V. Probably more likely of the 2, but why wouldn't IRAD be on this horse then? That's my big question. But Johnny V is here today and has ridden Capture the Flag before. So the number 2, Capture the Flag, is absolutely going to be a factor. Good luck to Paul Halloran, whose wife has a piece of Dracone from an ownership perspective. I think Dracone's been pretty tough today, but good luck to our co-host Paul Halloran, who has some interest in the number 5 Dracone for sure in race 6. And then Eldest Son is coming off a 2-mile race in the Jerkins, but has races on the go back in shorter races that are definitely logical. So I'm going to go, again, let me put my picks back on the screen. I'm going 10-9-8. You can Unit Economics, the one to beat. Let's go on to race 7. Race 7, I'm going 1-5-2. Now, this is the start of the late pick 5. It starts at about 3:20 Eastern time. I should say first post today, I believe, is 12:20 Eastern time. The pick 5 starts in race 7 at 3:19 Eastern. I'm going 1-5-2. Let me go ahead and bring that information up on the screen right now. It's a main special weight, purse 65,000, mile to 16th. Now, you got to be careful, ladies and gentlemen, because this mile to 16th is tricky. It's a short run into the first turn. It's a short stretch finish line. So you really don't want to be too far back. Now, this is a really interesting race. As you can see, the morning line favorite is the number 2, only in America for Pletcher and IRAD, 9-5 on the morning line. I don't get it. Well, I get it from a Moorline perspective, but I don't like this. I don't like Only in America at all in this spot. And I'll tell you why. Let me go ahead and bring up race 7. Here's race 7. First, my top choice, Burnham Square. Burnham Square has finished second and third. Whoops, I need to show the PP. Sorry about that. There we go. Burnham Square has finished second and third. Last time, as I look at my notes here, lost to a horse that paid $51. Now, in general, I'm against a horse that loses to a horse that was, 24-1. But the horse did close well. I think he's improving. Puts blinkers on, if I recall. Yes, puts blinkers on, gets Zayas, gets the rail. And I think this horse can be much more forward, or needs to be more forward in this spot. I think Burnham Square is clearly the best horse that is already, well, not clearly, but is the horse that has run already and has shown the most talent. I'm going to go number 1, Burnham Square. My second choice is number 5, Onrush. And the Ben and Boozin boys talked about Onrush on their show. This horse showed this is a pretty fast pace on the Tapeta. Just got ran down late. The question is, why is this horse on the Tapeta? Right? Hard spun out, smart strike mare. You would think this horse should be on turf. But Josie Carroll decided to go on dirt. I think there's 2 reasons for that. Number 1, they want to see if this horse, has got some kind of, Triple Crown, big time 3-year-old stake potential. Number 2, the horse has worked well on it. So I don't know. The 5 is a big question. Onrush could easily win this race, especially if he likes the dirt. We'll have to see. This one is bred more for turf, but again, Josie Carroll, who is a very, very good horsewoman, has decided to put Onrush on the dirt today. So we'll see. Let's talk about Only in America. Only in America costs $700,000. Is a constitution of a Tisna mare, American Doll. American Doll herself really was nothing special. Now, you see the first-time starters out of the dam 0 for 3. 2-year-olds 0 for 4. There's not much on the dam side of this pedigree at all. There's one of the sibs is Mischievous Doll. Not much in terms of siblings here, but it costs $700,000 in a constitution. We had some decent works earlier on his tab, but I got to tell you, his last 2 works for me, the last 2 works for Only in America, they don't do much for me at all. I don't get the buzz. Now, maybe this horse is going to be a monster. I don't know. I'd love to hear people's opinion if you've handicapped the race. I'm against Only in America. Obviously, I'll be there in the pack. I'm going to have a much better idea. But I'm going to go with the horse that have run in this race. I think experience will show. Whoops, I got to take the banner off, guys. Sorry about that, because we're already back. There we go. My bad. There we go. I'm against the firster in this race. I'm going 1-5-2. Let's go on to race 8. Second race of the, whoops, that's not what I want. I want down here. Excuse me. There we go. I'm going 1-5-10 in race 8. Let me go ahead and bring up that banner right now, and let me go ahead and switch over so you can see it bigger. And that's not the right race, so I will switch that in just a moment, folks. Bear with me. There we go. Race 8. It's the Abundantia. And Cal Roscoe, if you're watching, had fun trying to pronounce that. It's the Abundantia Stakes. This is 5 furlongs, not my biggest cup of tea. They're on the turf. This is for older fillies and mares. $115,000. Big, big scratch. And boy, am I disappointed. Mrs. Gambellini has decided not to run today. Maybe she's got some plans with some friends, or who knows what she's doing. But Mrs. Gambellini was one of my plays of the day, and she's scratched. I thought she was very live here from the rail. She's out. There is a ton of speed in this race anyway. The favorite who I was going to try to beat, and I still might try to beat, is number 12, Twirling Queen for D'Angelo and Louis Saez at 5-2, who on paper would be tough to beat, but I'm not so sure. That 1-5-10 obviously is going to change now, so let me change that. I'm going to go 5-10. I'll put the 12 now in third. So I'm still going to try to beat her. I'm going to go 5-10-12 in race 8. Let's talk about my top choice, and we'll eventually get to the Moyline favorite, who I'm not a huge fan of. Let me go ahead and switch it over. And I need to switch over to the different race 8. There we go. First of all, there's a ton of speed in this race. Let me show the time form, US, because it's pretty crazy. Early time form Fig has a fast pace, and there it is right there. It's got the 6 on the lead with the 4 in second, and my top choice right off. Boy, I would like that. If I was just sitting right off, that would be absolutely perfect for me. Just a Cara, I believe is the name of the number 5. Is in coming up to just a care, 6-1 morning line for Junior Alvarado. This is used to be trained by Rusty Arnold, now Brian Lynch. Second off a longer layoff, has been working completely lights out. If you looked at the workout report, this 5 just working unbelievably. She's fast. She has experience. She's got class. Yeah, she's going to have to work out a trip. There's other horses in here that are quicker than her probably. I don't expect Just a Care to be on the lead. I expect her to be right off a very, very hot pace. I think Brian Lynch is going to move this horse up. I like Just a Care. Gets a great post and now post 4 in the Abundancia. Let's go talk about another horse here. That would be, the 10. The number 10 is Irad. Now, Karaya, if it wasn't Irad, I don't think I like this horse very much, to be honest. There's a few things I like about Karaya. Number 1, she's an improving 3-year-old. Number 2, it's Mark Cassie. Number 3, she just ran her best Fig last time, but that was over a month ago, and I think she just might be improving. And number 4, this horse can pass horses. Now, she got a perfect trip last time, but with all the speed in front of her, I was going to let the speed go and going to make a monster move in the stretch. Is it going to be good enough? I'm not sure, but this is an improving horse who looks slow on paper. There's no way in hell that we're getting 8-1 on this horse. I can tell you that right now, ladies and gentlemen. You can forget that. She's going to be 9-2, down to 4-1-ish. But she's just one of the few horses in this race that looks like she can pass someone, and that's a big factor to me. Now, number 12. What is it against Twirling Queen? I don't like. First of all, the 11 holes, no gimme. Number 1. Number 2, she's flying back across the country. I know it was a while ago, but she was at Del Mar for Breeders' Cup Day and got a great trip and ride and won the Senator Ken Matty. The workout tab to me is shaky. If you look at the bottom, and it's probably hard for some of you to see there because I'm not full screen, but she had a bullet work on November 27th. Then she worked, about 10 days later. Then she worked 13 days later. I don't know. There's a little bit of gap in the tab. She's got an outside post. I don't think she lays over the field. The 12 holes, no gimme. Maybe I'm overreading it. I don't know. I'm going to try to beat Twirling Queen, who's probably going to be 8-5 in this spot. Let me go back full screen. Let's get a few quick comments, and then we'll end the day here today. Let's see. Some scary creations again. Burnham Square reminds me of the horse from Dale Romans yesterday, coming from Churchill, running third and did not run yesterday at Gulfstream. Scary. So interesting you brought up that Dale Romans horse. Guess who I talked to this morning about that horse? The man himself, Dale Romans. Dale said that 4 didn't quite like the track yesterday. The track was speed favoring, and that one was too far back, and they actually didn't go back to the turf with that horse. So there are reasons why that 4, who was one of the favorites in the race yesterday, ran a non-threatening third. I don't think Burnham Square is like that horse at all. We'll find out, but interesting that you brought that up there. Let's see here. Chris Couples was bummed to see the Miss Gambellini out also. What else here? Yes, Charlie Freeman also liked the 1. Sorry, Charlie. You're going to have to make a different opinion there. Horsey Day wants to know, likely strong rain by now. Sorry if off the turf. How does 189 top 3 suit you? That was a previous race. Yeah, we'll see about the rain. It can come quickly. So, I mean, we don't know. But, it's not supposed to rain until about 12:30, 1 o'clock if it rains at all. We shall see. All right, let's get on to the next race, ladies and gentlemen. The next race we have here is race 9? Yes. 3 more left. Race 9. 2, 3, 4 are my picks. 2, 3, 4 is what I'm going with in race 9. Let me go ahead and bring up that field. Nope, didn't do that. So, hold on one second. There we go. Race 9. I have to go forward. Race 9 is a handicap that I was here for last year, actually. 20's $100,000 nice handicap races on the Tapeta. These are, excuse me, like borderline grade 3 horses. It's a nice field of 9. The morning line favorite is number 8. Exact estimate for Chad and Tyler. 5-2 morning line. As you can see, I don't have that horse anywhere. I'm going 2, 3, 4. And I have a pretty strong opinion here in this race. Again, I apologize for the background noise. I'm at a restaurant. They're doing some work here, getting ready for the day. So I apologize for that. I like Skyro here. And I like Skyro actually quite a bit in this spot. Skyro's one of my plays of the day today. And I'm hoping this one's ready to fire. I don't love the morning line price. I think the number 2 Skyro should be higher than 7-2. But there's a few things I like about Skyro. First of all, this horse has fantastic form at Gulfstream. You can see, look at all these numbers here that I just highlighted. This horse loves this Gulfstream Tapeta, 5 or 6 in the money, number 1. Number 2, this horse has been involved in medium to slow pace races lately. And on paper, there's a decent amount of speed here. So I think Junior's going to take back and make a run, just like he did in the winter last year. Those last 2 races for Skyro were at Woodbine in grade 2 and grade 3 company. Let me go full screen. Grade 2 and grade 3 company. Those were much tougher races, and they are also slower paces. If Skyro's ready, and the work tab says that he probably is, I think Skyro's got a big shot. Again, I would insist on this 7-2, 3-1 morning line. I wouldn't want anything lower than that. But I'm going with Skyro. Number 3, Jerry the Nipper, a horse most people know well. New York bred horse, has run some very nice turf races. Now is trying Tapeta for Pletcher down here. Very well spotted. Could love the Tapeta. There is some speed in this race, but he's capable of stalking. He's never been over this Tapeta. That's a small concern, but turf horses usually like the Tapeta. Very nice spotting here by Todd Pletcher, I think, for Jerry the Nipper. The number 4, Yamato. This horse has been in grade stakes. I don't know where the speed came from, but last time, I mean, was it a fast pace? This horse was up close and looked unbelievable. Now, I will say about number 4, Yamato. He's not come back and worked very well since. You can take that for what it's worth. This horse used to be like a dead closer. If he continues to feel good and if he's more tactical, I think he's got a shot. He's 11th for 32. So Yamato, I'm not quite as strong with, but I think he's interesting. Fly W is just a really cool horse and honest. I don't think he's the same, though. I think he's going to find this horse this field too tough. Let's talk about the favorite here. Exact estimate. This layoff concerns me. Now, this horse is talented and was very good in his 2 Gulfstream races at this level. But where has he been? I mean, let me put myself back on screen here. Where has this horse been? He missed all of Saratoga. I mean, Chad Brown missing all of Saratoga with this horse when this horse could have done some damage on the turf. I just don't like that. I'm sure he's ready to go now, blah, blah, blah. He's working fine. I just, as the favorite, where there's other speed off this layoff that I don't love. I mean, he's been working really well. Maybe exact estimate stuffs me into a locker. I'm obviously going to use the 8, but I'm going to try to beat the 8 here. I just don't love the layoff. But again, he is working well. I just am going to try to beat him in this spot. It might not be easy. Exact estimate could win. We shall see. All right, let's go on to the late double, guys. Race 10. Race 10, I'm going 6, 10, 5. I'm just checking the time here, making sure everything's good. 6, 10, 5 for me in race 10. Let me go ahead and show the field here. Here we go. I'm going to use that tab instead. Okay, here we go. The Mr. Prospector. This is it, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go full screen for a second. This is the feature of the day. I'm very excited to see White Abarrio, I think for the second time in person in my life. Excuse me. Really cool horse, White Abarrio, trained by Safi. I will say two things about White Abarrio. Number one, he's the clear favorite. Should be 3 to 5. Might be very tough to beat. Number two, gets a great outside post, going 7 furlongs here with a lot of speed. So here's the question, Howard, what are you doing? Why are you trying to beat this horse? I'm wondering why he's not going 2 turns. Now, I think he went 7 furlongs before he won the Pegasus. What was it, 2 years ago? Or maybe before he won the Breeders' Cup, I believe. I don't think he won the Pegasus. Before he won the Breeders' Cup, I think he went in the 4-go, if I recall, or he went 7 furlongs. I'm not going to tell Safi what to do because he knows this horse a zillion times better than I do. If I'm a White Abarrio fan and I want to win the Pegasus, I would prefer this horse going 2 turns last week in the 2-turn race last week. There's no possible way he's fully cranked for this race either. And Irad said earlier this week that sometimes the horse doesn't break great. Now, if he was on the inside, I'd really be trying to beat him. I'm obviously going to use him everywhere. He's probably going to win. I'm not going to overanalyze here. But if he doesn't break great and someone gets loose on the lead or the speed horses are really good up front, when there's some very quality horses, this is not your typical grade 3. This is a very good field in Mr. Prospector today. I'm excited to see these horses in person. I don't think White Abarrio is a slam dunk. That's all I'm going to say. You want to single him, the whole world's going to single him on the pick 4s, pick 5s. He might win by 5. I wouldn't be surprised. This is a good field, and I think he's got his work cut out for him. Let's go ahead and look at the field right now as I go full screen here. There we go. Here's the field. Now, Shaq Diesel, the 11, is out. That has no effect on the race. White Abarrio, 3 to 5 morning. But there's some good horse in this race. Super Child, number 3, is fast. It looks like Gordian Knot for Pletcher might be scratched. I don't think that has an effect on anything. I'm just looking. Well, it says scratched right now on Equibase. I don't see any other scratches. We'll see. I don't think that really has an effect on the race either necessarily, although Pletcher's got another one, a Luminaire. So that's a little bit interesting. Let me go ahead and show the PPs here. Let me do that. Let me do this. Hold on 1 second. Let's just go to my picks here. I'm going to go with the number 6, and I got to switch races. Okay, here we go. I'm going with the 6 horse, Mufasa. Mufasa is a horse that I liked at the Breeders' Cup. Let me talk about the Breeders' Cup Mile very briefly. He got dirt kicked in his face for the first time ever, and didn't like it at all. He was rank. He spit the bit and just didn't run at all. And then they wrapped up on him late. If he goes back to his previous 2 efforts going 7, he's got a major, major shot. He's going to be used early. He's going to get the jump on White Abarrio. I think he's got a lot of talent. If he just gets the right trip, I think the number 6 Mufasa is the one that's most likely to upset White Abarrio today. Just completely toss out that last race. It was not the 2 turns. He's learned to get dirt kicked in his face now. I'm sure Tyler will try to not have dirt kicked in his face and sit right off the number 3 Super Chow. We'll see what happens. I could be very wrong, but I'm very interested in Mufasa in the Mr. Prospector today. The other horse, if it does melt down, Real Macho at 20 to 1 for Ronan Crichton. This horse is working great. He's one of the few horses that can pass. He's been in graded stakes. I like him more underneath, but Real Macho, the number 5 at 20 to 1, might be a horse you want to take a look at more for 2nd and 3rd. The other horse we need to mention, of course, is a Luminaire. Now, a Luminaire was completely outworked by the 4 horse Gordian Knot, who is scratched. I didn't love the works for a Luminaire, but I love his last race. This is an up-and-comer. Reminds me of Locked. This is like Locked 2.0, except he's a sprinter. If I just ignore that last work, I know it's a bullet work, but I wasn't that impressed with it. If this horse is better than his works, I think a Luminaire is dangerous. I'm going to use him at least somewhere in the pick 5. It's the other Pletcher. So in general, I'm going to try to beat White Barrio again. It might be fool's gold. I could easily make that pick 6-10-9 on the screen, especially with the other Pletcher out. Interesting that Pletcher decides to only run 1, and it's the 9 Illuminaire. Let's get on the last race. And boy, I'll tell you what, thank you everyone for watching. We've had huge viewership today as I'm live here at Gulfstream Park on a still beautiful day in Hallandale Beach. You can see behind me again, the flag there, the American flag right there is pointing this way. Which way? This way. This way, which is a big tailwind down the backstretch. So expect to see very fast times going first quarter in one-turn races. And I'm expecting the speed and the inside to hold up well, which is another reason why I like Mufasa and Mr. Prospector. If the, all the concepts of nature stay the way they are, White Barrio is going to have to come off it a little bit, and he's going to have to show his class, and he probably will, but we'll see. Let's go on the last race. Last race of the day, I'm going 4-5-7. 4-5-7 in race 11. Let me go ahead and bring everything up on the screen here right now. There we go. No scratches as of now, but there will be. No, sorry. It looks like maybe the 13 is out. I'm going 4-5-7. I'm going to go with Chad here. And again, we talked about Chad, but this is a nice allowance race. I'm always leery with Chad right now here at Gulfstream, catalyzed. And then I got Leo Toro in second, and Cold Hard Stare, an interesting South African horse, in third with Irad and Mott at 15-1. But of course, because of the Irad money, there's no way in hell that 7 is going to be 15-1 in the last race, unfortunately. I'm going to go switch to the last race. Let's talk about it quickly here. Number 4. I need to get to the last race. Not switching over for me. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Catalyze says that absolutely nothing wrong. Will be Ford, broke his maiden, did it barely. This horse always takes money and has been a bit disappointing. So you have to take that into account because Catalyze is no sure thing here. And I just like that he's going to be Ford in a race that doesn't appear to have a lot of early speed in it. I think it's a big feather in Catalyze cap. We'll see, though. She's going to take a lot of money, and she's not overly reliable. The number 5, Leo Toro for Drayden, who's called with Brian Lynch, is 3 for 18. I think he's more reliable. She is more reliable. But again, she likes to close and not get there. She's 1 for 7, which is why I took a look at a few horses. Lady Mary, I didn't mention in the top 3, but Lady Mary puts blinkers on for Edwin Gonzalez. She's definitely a factor. Cold Hard Stare looks really slow, but this mare actually has been working really well. Maybe the blinkers on is what she needed and gets IRAD. How about Cold Hard Stare? She won't be 15-1. How about her at 8-1 to close out the day for Mott and IRAD? And IRAD doesn't ride for Mott too often, so I found that interesting as well. I don't think the number 1 is out of it. Aspen Dawn, who needs to be up close but has a nice closing kick if the pace develops. She's been working well for Cassie and Jaramillo, who again needs to get this filly up closer. There's a lot of ways to go in the last race. I would absolutely not single the 4. You have to spread. If you're a horizontal player, you absolutely have to spread in this last race. There are many horses that are not that far off on their fig line, and I don't trust Chad Brown in this race fully at all. So it's a very soft pick. I'd be interested in the 7. I'd be interested in the 1. I'm going to have a lot of A's on my ABC line here in the last race. Let's get some final comments, and then we'll wrap up the show. I'll see if I can answer some questions here. Let's see here. I'm just looking from does Wesley Warren not win turf sprints anymore? Oh, he does, but Gulfstream's not his thing, Scary, right? I mean, he's best in Kentucky. That's where he does his damage. You want to get Wesley in Kentucky. He's got a string down here, but I mean, this is not what he does best during the winter months. So yeah, he can win turf sprints. Don't you worry about that. Race 10, my goodness, from Horsey Dave is the long shot 3 ever a horse for the course in race 10. Is that what race? I'm trying to think what race that is. Yeah, the 3 is a horse for course. Actually, I want to talk about the 3 real quick in race 10. Let me go back to that for just a second, Horsey Dave, because I want to say something about that horse. It's in the stake, right? Yeah, Super Chow. Super Chow, who's 21 Moyline for Delgado and David Egan. Let me just go ahead and bring this up on the screen real quick. I'm going to go back to that horse. I do want to mention something. Super Chow is 6 for 6 in the money at Gulfstream. Is a very fast horse early. Has tailed off a bit. However, has been working very well and loves Gulfstream and is very fast. Let me tell you guys something. Whoops, I wasn't able to actually show the hold on. Sorry about that. I want to. Okay. Oh, I know why. Sorry about that. I wanted to show. There we go. There's Super Chow. I apologize. I'm going to use Super Chow, Horsey Dave, a little bit. He is very fast. And if this track is speed favoring and he gets to the rail and gets a little bit of a breather somehow, I would not completely count out Super Dave at all in this spot. I think that's a very interesting, astute pick there, Horsey Dave. I think Super Chow at a bomb is really interesting, the Mr. Prospector, but he's really going to have to step up his game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to take care of everything. We've gone on long enough here. I really appreciate everyone watching. And most importantly, I do want to say this. Let me make sure I'm where I want to be here. Hold on one second, everyone. Yeah, this is where I want to be. We're good. Most importantly, I want to wish everyone a very, very happy new year and a happy upcoming 2025. This is my last official show of 2024. What a ride it's been. We were going to do a year in review show Monday, but I'm still going to be out of town, and due to everyone's schedules, we're not going to do that. Maybe we'll have a 2024 year in review next week or some other time. But I just want to thank all of you at home. Much love, much respect. Everyone watching, listening to the HHH Racing Podcast. This is our last official podcast of 2024. It's just been an amazing year. We just keep growing and getting bigger and better with shows and guests. And again, there's absolutely no way we can do all this without you folks at home. So as I like to say, to end 2024, crush your bets at Gulfstream Park today. Take care, everyone. Happy New Year.
Kravets. If you have not followed his Triple H Horse Racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.